friends! My name is Desiree, aka Mama Friendly, and I do all sorts of videos on my channel, from cooking videos to planner videos, vlogs, hauls, homeschool videos with a Disney twist, a little bit of everything. So if any of that sounds like fun to you, I hope that you'll subscribe and join me on my YouTube adventure. This is the latest installment in the Crockpot Palooza collab hosted by Tiffany of Small Town 6 and Jessica of Jessica Myrose. And it being October, we are fully into harvest season, I thought it would be nice to make a pumpkin-y dessert in the slow cooker this month. As usual, my recipes are gluten and dairy free because it's how I eat, so obviously it is for the most part how I cook. And I decided to pull a recipe from this cookbook this month. This is called Slow Cooked Paleo. I'll have this cookbook linked in the description box below in case you are on a paleo or gluten and dairy free journey. This is a great cookbook to have, especially if you really like using your crock pot, which I'm assuming you do because you're here at the Crockpot Palooza videos. So this has all sorts of different meals. I actually already made a recipe from this for Crockpot Palooza. The tandoori chicken came from this book as well. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'm gonna link it up here in the corner. But for this month, I am making maple pumpkin pudding. It was so delicious, it was so easy to throw together, and you're really gonna enjoy this if you are any sort of pumpkin fan like I am. Before we jump into the recipe, remember I said this was a collab, and that means that there's a playlist. So I'm gonna have in the description box both Tiffany and Jessica's channels linked, and also a link to said playlist so that once you've watched my video, you can see what all my friends made as well. Let's jump right into it, shall we? We begin with our ingredients as usual. So we have here a 15-ounce can of pure pumpkin puree. Make sure you have the actual pumpkin and not the pumpkin pie filling. Easy mistake to make, but the pumpkin pie filling is not paleo and it is definitely going to throw off the ingredients here. So we've got our pumpkin. You need a 13.5-ounce can of full-fat coconut milk, 2 eggs, a 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, although you could just substitute pumpkin pie spice. You can either line the slow cooker with parchment paper or coat the insert with non-stick cooking spray. We're gonna add in our pumpkin puree, coconut milk, eggs, maple syrup, vanilla, cinnamon, ginger, and nutmeg to a medium mixing bowl. Stir it well to combine until the eggs are beaten into the pudding mixture. You could even beat the eggs beforehand to make sure that the eggs get properly incorporated into the rest of the ingredients. Once your ingredients have all come together and they're uniform, pour your pudding into the slow cooker and cover. We're going to cook on low for 2.5 to 3.5 hours, or until the top of the pudding is set but still bounces back when it's lightly pressed. At this point, we can transfer our pudding to a large bowl. I'm using a big glass Tupperware, which is where I'm going to store it because I'm not planning to serve it right away. Or you can spoon it into 6 individual serving dishes. Refrigerate until it's completely chilled and the consistency is firm and creamy, about 30 minutes to an hour. I topped mine with a little more pumpkin pie spice and it was absolutely delicious. I also recommend maybe putting a little bit of coconut sugar or brown sugar on top if you're not too concerned about paleo and still just want to keep it gluten and dairy free. The extra crunch from the sugar crystals really adds a special texture to it, and I personally thought it could use just a touch more sweetness, so this really helped. All right, friends, there you have it. I told you it was super easy to throw together. You just have to have a little bit of pre-planning in mind so that you can not only cook it, but give it a chance to chill. And it's one of my favorite kinds of recipes, which of course means it's gluten and dairy free, and it's paleo. It's gut healthy, but it's still delicious enough that people eating a standard American diet will happily chow down with you. If you decide to try this recipe for yourself, I would love for you to come on back and let me know how you liked it. And I'd like to remind you once again before you go to check out that playlist so you can see what all my friends made this month as well for their Crockpot Palooza. Remember, we're doing this all year long, so for the rest of the year, once a month you can come back to my channel or any of my pals and see a Crockpot recipe to add to your repertoire. I want to thank you so much for being here and watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope that you will please give it a big thumbs up. I'd also love it if you would subscribe and click that notification bell because I post at least 3 times a week and I wouldn't want you to miss a minute. Thanks so much again for watching. Bye.